Well, good afternoon. Happy Friday, May the 7th. Mark Milam here, your mortgage professional with Highland Mortgage, coming to you with this week's interest rate summary and market update. Well, the trend in April was really positive for mortgage interest rates and a little bit unexpected. We anticipated that as the year wore on, the vaccinations took hold, the economy recovered, interest rates would inevitably start to rise. And we certainly saw that in February. We saw that in March. And April was a nice reprieve for us. But everybody in the industry pretty much anticipated that April would be a plateau. It would be a little bit of a respite, but that the general trend would continue once we got in later into the spring and into early summer. Well, the first week of May has actually been a continuation of April, and that's good news. Now, a lot of economic reports out in May, and for the most part, the actual data met right up with estimates until today. Today was the doozy in our industry, the big report that we watch, which is non-farm payrolls, a very strong, important measure of the economy as it pertains to employment. How many payrolls did we add outside of the farm sector? How many payrolls did we add over the past 30 days? And the estimate for this past 30-day period was 978,000 jobs. That's how many jobs we thought we would add. The actual number came in much, much lower, down at 266,000 jobs. That big of a miss is a puzzling indicator, right? It's a sign that the economy is not about to take off like a rocket ship, that we are adding jobs back, but at a much slower pace than anticipated. Now, the unemployment rate, another important measure, we thought the unemployment rate was headed down to 5.8%. Instead, the unemployment rate rose to 6.1%, and hourly workers actually saw their wages decline by 0.4% over the past 30 days, meaning lower wages for hourly workers over the past 30 days. All of this translates into the idea that this recovery is going to be much slower than maybe we anticipated. It's going to be a bit of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of recovery. Let's take a look at the headline. So April jobs report sharply missing estimates, and then the unemployment rate increasing to 6.1%. You can see the detail down here. We're really came in at just over a quarter of what we thought we were going to add in terms of non-farm payrolls. Unemployment rate ticking up. It was 6.0 in March, 6.1 now in April, so unemployment actually rising. Average hourly earnings dropping here. You can see a minus 0.4% versus an expected 0.3% increase. Now let's take a look at what this is meaning for mortgage-backed securities. Now, mortgage-backed securities are the financial instrument upon which fixed rates are based. And you can see this is April right here. April was a nice reprieve. Green days are good days, meaning interest rates are headed lower. And then here we saw this plateau at the very end of April, and we thought, well, that was fun. Let's get ready for some more of this, some more of these red days as we move further and further through the end of the pandemic. And that's not at all what we saw this week. We saw mortgage-backed securities continue to trade up in value, and now we're getting back to levels that we haven't seen since very, very early March, or even taking you all the way back to the third week in February. That's great news if you missed out on your refinance opportunity. That's great news if you're still out there hunting for a house because of limited inventory. You haven't been able to secure your particular property. Good news for you in that you haven't lost any ground in terms of interest rates. As a matter of fact, if you didn't take advantage of those refi opportunities in 2020, now's a good time to look into that, as we're seeing interest rates on the really, really short-term products down in the very low twos, maybe even high ones. And then when you get into the 30-year products, you're up now in the high two range. So please, if I can help you, don't hesitate to reach out. Mark.milam@highlandmtg.com, 404-395-1102. Have a good week, everybody.